What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank you all so much for joining me for this being my review for the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 10 Reunion Part 3. So we finally have come to the conclusion of this reunion. And this reunion starts out with allegedly Monique sharing a video, and I've heard, so I'm not sure if this is necessarily true. So allegedly, it's one of Monique's children asking about Stacey, and some type of evidence that proves that Stacey was claiming that, was telling Chris that Monique was having her children filmed during this season. Now we are a couple of days after the reunion posted or was released rather, and Monique has actually come out on social media saying that she does not believe that Stacey had anything to do with Chris finding out that Monique was telling all their business. Well, maybe not all their business, but sharing their relationship woes with the ladies. And I find this very interesting. As you guys know, as I've been reviewing this season, Stacey has been my favorite housewife on this season. And so I've really been rooting for Stacey to, come out the victor in every situation that she finds herself in. And so I'm so glad that Monique found the energy and found the humility to come out and say that she feels as though that she was wrong for coming for Stacey. And so it's going to make me like Monique a little bit more, because I really was not liking Monique, especially the way that she was comparing her relationship with Chris to Angel's relationship with Bobby. So I feel as though I'm so glad that she took accountability for making sure that Stacey's name is cleared. So then we get into Angel's package. We talk about the fact that her Colorado trip went all the way left. And, she says that she wants to do better. And I'm so glad that she did not, fold during this reunion. And I'm also really happy that Bobby was not at the reunion. I feel as though this is the first Potomac reunion where none of the significant others came onto the stage. Now, Eddie did come onto the stage to kiss Wendy and support her and things of that nature, but there was no segment this season for the men in these women's lives. And I'm so glad that Bobby did not show up. And I'm not surprised that Timu would not have showed up either. So it would have just been Bobby, Timu, and Eddie at this. Oh, and, Tia's husband as well, which I don't even remember his name. We've only seen him like 2 or 3 times this season. So I'm just glad that, we didn't have to go through that, because I have a feeling that the women would have jumped on Bobby and made him look like an unsupportive, aggressive type dude, and I don't think he's that whatsoever. I think he's a beautiful man. He's been doing nothing but supporting Angel this entire season, being a listening ear for her when she's got to get off her chest what these ladies are doing to her. So I'm really, really happy about that. So then Karen comes on stage, and I'm so glad that Andy brought up the conversation again to Karen about her not wanting to admit that she is an alcoholic. She likes to say that she's in lifetime recovery, which is nice for her to say. I'm glad that she's not trying to completely run away from it. She is acknowledging the fact that she does have a substance abuse and alcohol problem. She just does not want to, I guess, label herself as an alcoholic, which I guess she does have the right to do. We as the audience know what the issue is, and we as the audience would probably label her as an alcoholic. However, as Karen said, she is in lifetime recovery. Now, the issue that I have with Karen at this point is that she clearly has an issue with Wendy and Stacey. Now, I understand a little bit why she would have an issue with Wendy, because Stacey revealed last season during the finale that Karen told Stacey that Wendy is not a good friend, and Wendy seemed to have taken Stacey's word for it, which I would believe that Karen might have said that, because when Wendy came onto the show in season 5, Karen was telling Giselle that Wendy did not gel with the group. Wendy did not fit in with the group. That Wendy should not be on the show, and it would not surprise me if Karen gave this information to Stacey about Wendy, because I don't believe that Karen ever liked Wendy. I don't know if Karen would be intimidated by Wendy and the fact that she has 4 degrees and she has a doctorate and she's so successful, or seems to be rather so successful. But for Karen to have all this energy towards Wendy, this negative energy towards Wendy, I just don't understand. Like, that can't be the only reason. Like, there has to be some underlying thing that has not been brought to the surface that is causing Karen to not like Wendy. Karen told Wendy that, she loves her mother. She loves Wendy's mother, and she appreciated the fact that Wendy's mother told Wendy to shut the F up. And turns out a little bit later on in the reunion, after Wendy's asked about her case, and Wendy tells Andy what happened at the time that they realized that they had been robbed, allegedly. Karen said, "That's what I meant by shut the F up. You're talking too much." And I will admit that I was surprised that Wendy went into detail as to what happened when they found out that they were robbed, allegedly. Because a lot of times when those types of court cases have not been completed, a lot of times the litigants don't, or the defendants rather, would not discuss anything about the case at all. Of course, Andy can always ask the questions, but it's up to the person who he's asking whether they want to answer the question directly or not. So I was surprised about that, even though Wendy did say that everything that she revealed on the show is in public court records, and so it's already been known to the public. I was just still surprised that she said that, but I don't think that she's jeopardizing her guilt or innocence by sharing this information, because it's just very light information, at least in my opinion. And then it also seems like Karen has an issue with Stacey. When Andy asked her a question about Stacey was sitting right next to her, and she was looking down the row at Kay and Angel, and Ashley, and acted like she did not see Stacey sitting right there. And Karen said that her only issue with Stacey is that it seems like Stacey lies. Here's my thing about Stacey's lies. Like, is it true that Stacey lies? Sure. I mean, a lot of times, some of the things that she says does not add up. However, the lies that Stacey are telling are lies about herself and her own story. They're not lies that are jeopardizing someone else's well-being or jeopardizing someone else's reputation, or making lies about Giselle or Wendy or Ashley, which she really could be doing, but she's decided not to do it. And I appreciate that about Stacey. And I think the issue is a lot of times when people bring these alleged lies to Stacey's attention, Stacey just brushes it off like it's nothing and goes on to the next thing. Like, Stacey's never impacted or she's never impacted or affected by any of these lies coming back to her face. And so I think the issue that Karen has with Stacey, as I believe, is the same issue that Giselle has with Stacey. I think these women see that Stacey has come in on her second season. She is definitely a fan favorite. Andy clearly loves Stacey to bits. Like, the 2 times that I've seen Stacey on Watch What Happens Live, Andy just seems to be enamored with Stacey, which is clear. And I also loved Carlos King's interview with Stacey as well. Carlos King clearly loves Stacey as well, and so Stacey is the breakout star. Stacey is the breakout star of this season. And it's not even like Stacey's really trying that hard to take that place. She's just naturally in that space. And I love that about Stacey. And so I think Stacey did pretty well on this particular reunion. I feel as though she's going to keep this first chair next to Andy going forward. Who knows whether that will change or not going down later on down the line in the latter seasons. But I'm just loving seeing Stacey take her place where she deserves to be. And so it turns out that Giselle does not have a package this season at the reunion, and she did not find out until the reunion was coming to a close. And Giselle really did not appreciate that whatsoever. So when Andy was asking all the ladies on their final thoughts, Giselle decided to take this time to update everyone on her personal life. The fact that her kids are grown, they're out of her house, and she's got different businesses that she's starting to begin and things of that nature. And so I just thought that was very interesting. I believe every other woman on the couch had a package except for Giselle. Now, some people were thinking that means that Giselle's only coming back as a friend of the show next season. I personally would not believe that Giselle would accept a friend of the show position on the show. I feel as though if she's not an actual housewife, then she's not going to do the show. So whether Giselle will be back next season or not, I'm sure she will be. I have a feeling that all of the women are coming back unless Wendy ends up going to prison. But other than that, I feel like all the women are going to be coming back next season. They added 2 new housewives this season, and so the chances, I feel like the chances of them bringing anyone new next season are pretty slim to none, but who knows? Bravo can do whatever it is they want to do. It's their show, so it is what it is. But I was very happy with this reunion. I love that Wendy was so open. And I love that she showed up at the reunion because she really didn't have to come. Just like Karen didn't come last season after she was arrested, and I think that the reunion took place a couple days before she got sentenced. So it is what it is. But I did enjoy this reunion. Once again, Stacey is my favorite. I hope that she continues to do her best and continue to shine as the star that she is. And I'm so proud of her for not letting these women get to her. And I hope that if Angel comes back next season, that she does a better job of defending herself, because a lot of times when people came at her, she really didn't have a reaction until maybe the next scene or the next day. And that was a little bit annoying to me. So I just want Angel to do better, because I'm rooting for Angel. I think Angel seems like a lovely woman. She has a beautiful husband, beautiful children. And I feel as though, in the grand scheme of things, she would belong on a show like this. It's just that her personality does not yield one that can, go back and forth with people. Like, that's just not her gig. And you have to be able to do that when you're on a show like this. So tell me, you guys, what you think down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big white subscribe button. Be sure to leave a thumbs up for this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Once again, be sure to comment. Let me know your favorite part of the reunion. How did you feel like the Monique, what she showed the other ladies? How do you think that will affect Stacey going on down the road, even though she came out and said that she feels like Stacey is innocent? Let me know if you who do you want back next season? Do you want all the ladies to return back next season? Do you want anyone to go? Let me know. Of course, y'all know I want Giselle and Ashley and Kiana to go bye-bye. So let me know that down in the comments. Be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets, y'all. Make sure to join me every Thursday night at 8 p.m. for my live Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. I go live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. with my sister, Prophetic Fire Reiki, as well as our friend, Bianca Edwards. We always have a great time talking about the latest happenings and goings on in the world. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, y'all.